Hi, Rio Grande third graders. We're going to quickly take a look at our week 16, day 2 problems. And so you will notice that we actually have 2 word problems today, or story problems. So we're going to take a look at the first one, and we have Noah has 5 pieces of bubble gum to share with his 5 teammates. Now, teammates are the people that are on your team with you. So he wants to give each teammate the same number of pieces. How many pieces can Noah give each teammate? So if you recognized or noticed that we have a total number of pieces of bubble gum. There are 5 pieces of bubble gum, and you also hear the word sharing with teammates. He's got 5 teammates. So if you think about it, he's got 5 pieces of gum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he wants to share the same number of pieces. Now that's very important that they're each getting the same number of pieces. So this tells you that you're going to be dividing because they want to know how many pieces Noah is giving each teammate. So I'm going to go ahead and turn to the back where I can show my work. And please do the same. So this is day 2. And you will notice that I have my total number of pieces of gum. So I'm taking those pieces of gum and I'm sharing them and dividing them between my teammates. Now your teammates are your groups. Each person is your teammate or the group. So there's going to be 5 groups. So I can demonstrate this using a bar diagram. So there's 1 teammate, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now if I take these 5 pieces of gum, which is my total pieces of gum, then I can share each of those with a teammate. So if I start sharing, this person gets a piece of gum, this person gets a piece of gum, this person gets a piece of gum, and a piece of gum. Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of gum. So I don't have any more gum to share. And I notice now each person gets 1 piece of gum for each person. 1 piece for each teammate. And that's what the question is asking you. How many pieces does each person get? So notice that now that I've divided the gum evenly, now this looks like a multiplication sentence. And remember, you can check your division by using multiplication. So I have 5 teammates, and that's my groups. And I'm just going to put a TM here for teammates. And each person gets 1 piece of gum, 1 piece each. And my total pieces of gum, 5 groups of 1, is going to give me 5. It's 5 total pieces of gum. So now I can answer using an answer statement. So they will each get 1 piece of gum since, or because, there are 5 pieces and 5 teammates, so everyone gets a piece. A meaning one, right? When I say a piece, I mean one piece. So I'm sharing equally. Each person gets one piece. So that is word problem number 1. I'll come back when we get to our second word problem, but our next equation is a subtraction, and I'm looking for my difference. Make sure you remember this vocabulary. The answer to a subtraction problem is your difference. So I'm looking for the difference from 210 all the way up to 625. So think about it this way. If I had 210 and I were going to add a number to get to 625, what would that missing part be? Well, that's what we're trying to find right here, is our difference. So I'm going to use the subtract off strategy, which means I'm going to take my total and I'm going to subtract off one place value at a time. So to do that, I subtract off my 200, and if I subtract 200s from 600s, now I have 400, and 25 is what I have from my 10s and my 1s, since I haven't subtracted anything. Now, I'm going to take the 425, and I'm going to subtract 10 more from the 20. And if I subtract 10 from the 20, that's going to leave me with 415, because 20 minus a 10 leaves me with a 10. And you'll notice here I'm not subtracting any ones, so that's going to leave me with 5 ones, and so I don't need to subtract 0 because I don't have anything to subtract for the ones place. Now, if I were going to use my algorithm, I make sure that I line up my place value as ones, tens, and hundreds. I can subtract 5 minus 0. I don't need to regroup because I have enough to subtract. So 5 minus 0 is 5. Two tens and one more 10. So I do have enough to subtract the 110 from the 2 tens. So if I subtract 1 from the 2, I have 110 left. And 600s minus 200s will leave me with 400s. So 415 would be my difference. So I can place that here in my difference. Now, to check my subtraction, I can always use addition. So basically what I would be doing is putting that missing part back in, adding it up to make sure it adds up to 625. So 5 plus 0 is 5. 10 and 10 is 20, which is that 20 here and that 20 there. And 400 plus 200 is 600. So we did our subtraction correctly. So remember that if you do your problem correctly, you're going to put a star. If you had to correct an error that you made, put SC for self-correct. Again, it's okay if we make mistakes. Remember, these are skills that we want to continue to review over and over again so that we get enough practice so that they become very simple. Now, let's take a look at the next word problem. Abel drew some triangles. So we have to know what a triangle is, right? It's a three-sided figure, right? It's a three-sided figure, and it has 3 vertices. 1, 2, 3. 3 vertices. Now, in the next sentence, it says his drawing had 21 vertices. How many triangles did he draw? Then it also gives you a clue here. Write a division equation to answer the question. So we have to know our total first. So in his drawing, he has 21 vertices. He has 21 corners. They want to know how many triangles did he draw. Now again, we need to know how many vertices are in one triangle. So as soon as we know how many vertices are in one triangle, then we can start using that to help us with our division. So if I were to, and I'm going to go back to the back here, if I had to draw triangles, which I could do, right? Of course I could draw some triangles. I could come over here. I'm going to just come over here to day 1 since I didn't have to use day 1. I could start drawing triangles. So it tells me I have a total of 21 vertices. And I'm going to use all of those vertices and divide them up into 3 vertices for each triangle. The triangle is the group. Each triangle. Now, we're looking for the groups or the triangles we can draw. Now, using what I know, I could start drawing triangles if I need to. And I would draw 1 triangle, that's 3. If I use 3 more vertices, now I'm at 6. 3 more would put me at 9 vertices that I've used. And if I continue on, that would be 12, 15, 18, because 16, 17, 18, and finally 18, 19, 20, 21. So here are my 21 vertices. There are 3 vertices for each of my triangles. And so I know that I have been able to draw, using the 21 vertices, 7 triangles. Now, 7 triangles, again, remember we can always use our multiplication. If I have 7 triangles, which are my groups, and there are 3 vertices for each group or each triangle, because remember the first factor tells me my groups, the second factor tells me the number of objects, or in this case vertices, for each triangle. This is kind of like a geometry problem. And we know we're going to have a total of 21 vertices or corners that were drawn. Now I can say there are, and I know we need a lot of practice continuing to put part of our question into our response. There are 7 triangles if I draw 3 vertices for each triangle there will be 21 vertices. And I skip counted by 3s up to 21. So there is your explanation to your division sentence. Nice job. Make sure you put a star if you did that correctly. The next part of our review warm-up is a input-output table. So it's asking us to multiply by 5. Now in some cases they don't give us this. Sometimes we might have to know and see that there's a pattern going from input to output. But in this case they give us the rule. But if we were to look at input to output, we could see that if I multiply my input by 5, this would be my output. And if I multiply 3 times 5, this would be my output. So I really know my first factor. I have to look at the output to decide what the pattern is if I had my outputs. So we know that this is going to give us our outputs. And we will hopefully start recognizing that sometimes we don't have the rule. Sometimes they don't give us this part. Sometimes we have to figure it out based on what's happening from the input to output. So in this case, we're looking from factor to product. So those are our review problems for today. We'll be having our live meeting, and so make sure that you're ready to work on one of these problems when we meet for our live session. So see you soon and have a great day.